Hey, what's up, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? It's your only friend, these YouTube streets, Puerto77, kicking off, you know, my first video of 2023. Um, let's just get right into it. Sony had their Consumer Electronics Show, um, just to hit two main bullet points, which is pretty much one, PlayStation has sold over 30 million units, only announced, and December has been PS5's biggest month of sales. CEO of PlayStation, Jim Ryan, says that moving forward, more people will have an easier time uh, getting the PS5. They were having trouble before, so it seems like Sony got their shortages, their production issues sorted out. To what levels? I haven't got that information. They probably reached what they normally are able to do with their previous consoles, as compared to their previous consoles, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3. I'm sure their goal is to exceed that capacity level, assuming that demand remains the same or similar. Because if they're able to sell 30 million in a year, I mean, I think the record is like 24 based on the PlayStation 1. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, but they have a record of how many consoles they sold in a year, and if they could surpass that, I'm pretty sure they would want to. And but in order to do that, they would have to produce more consoles. It is a good thing, man. As long as Sony produces more consoles to get, the consoles gamers' hands, it's good for the industry. It's good for third party. Gives third party more confidence to drop the PlayStation 4, and no longer will we have to worry about cross-gen games and stuff. There's still going to be some third party that will still make PlayStation 4 games. Some of the smaller developers, smaller publishers, they got to take advantage with what they got based on that. But the bigger publishers and the bigger developers, the ones that have more money, they're definitely going to want to move on uh, to just PS5, minimum spec PS5. Multiplus, obviously, Xbox will have a say with the Xbox Series S, the potato, but it is what it is. That's what we got to deal with. And then whatever minimum spec PC, but the exclusives, that's definitely going to shine, whether it's from Sony's first party and third party or second party relationships, that's going to be incredible. What they're going to get out of the PlayStation 5. Um, but just like for anything, there's going to be a little bit of salt, and it's pertaining to VR. So VR is inbound. It will launch in February. Sony announced 30 games at launch, um, and there's just salt about it. Listen, to the PlayStation gamers, don't let these Xbox fanboys, rile you up with VR, saying that it's niche, nobody cares about it. Listen, that's irrelevant. Their opinion on VR is irrelevant because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, don't get it. But the reality is, Sony is providing a capability, uh, something that we can enjoy in gaming, VR. With our PlayStation 5 console, and they went all out. Great technology, great visuals. It's just going to be a great time if you're interested in VR. If you're not interested in VR, then that's okay. You have a PS5, you didn't buy a PS5 for VR, too expensive, multiple reasons. But if you're out there hating on VR simply because your brand isn't doing it, come on, stop it. Stop this trash. We could see the difference. I was on Twitter throughout the day, and people coming at me with all stupid shit, on why it's okay for Microsoft to not do VR. And the funny part is, I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying that it is okay for Microsoft, even though they promised. Phil Spencer did promise that with the Xbox One X, you'll get high for their VR, and he backtracked on that. But I am saying that it is okay. It is okay for Microsoft to not partake in VR because the reality is they are incapable to manage that. They're barely hanging on to a thread with what they're supposed to do. And what they're supposed to do is the bare minimum. Release AAA quality games, try to compete in this industry as being one of the top publishers by producing some of the, producing some of the most well-renowned IPs out there in the industry. You know, compete for those Game of the Years, compete for those high Metacritics. Just literally what Sony and Nintendo does. You know, when Nintendo and Sony, PlayStation creates a game, there's a level of expectation of greatness that comes with it. And sometimes they don't meet it. Sometimes they fall short, right? Can't be perfect all the time, right? But every time they do release a first-party title, automatically there's a level of expectation of greatness between those two brands. But when Xbox does it, there's always like, you know, keep expectations low, you know. And to me, that's the bare minimum. The bare minimum is be a great game developer, right? With your studios and be a great publisher. But they're screwing that up. So for them to tack on VR, I agree. Stay away from that. You were right. It is the best choice. But to damage control that choice with other stuff like, oh no, Microsoft is the leader in VR, and you know, people trying to tell me other sectors, military contracts or medical. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, why are you talking to me? This is a gaming topic. If you want to hype Microsoft VR and what it does for the medical field, sure, it sounds great, but go, you know, talk to the health industry Twitter side. You're in the gaming Twitter community. That doesn't impress me. That does nothing for me in terms of gaming, you know. Oh, it's niche. You know, we need to invest in cloud. I'm like, listen, that one has nothing to do with the other. Microsoft wants to the cloud, go ahead, do it. But that doesn't mean that you can't invest in VR either. I mean, Sony is. Sony probably is most likely still investing in cloud. They're still eventually going to try to push maybe some type of cloud, whatever. But that's not stopping investing in VR. You know, you can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. So all those excuses just simply put that because Microsoft's not doing it, then it's bad. And what's funny is these are the same cats that hyped Kinect, which was clearly a bad idea. It was monumentally a terrible concept from the start. From the start. And then it got even worse with the Xbox One. Project Natal. Man, that was just a terrible ass idea. And they sent for that. God, the capping for that stupid thing. Kinect literally almost killed the brand. But they had no problem happening that. They couldn't see the uselessness of Kinect. But yes, somehow they see the uselessness of VR or whatever. Somehow they see that it's not worth investment. Despite the fact that I think at this point still, MetaQuest 2 is outselling Xbox Series S and Series X. I don't know. Does it sound that useless? Or, you know, not worth the investment when you have MetaQuest out there being bought? It's a hit, and that's just one device, you know. The PSVR2 might not be as successful as MetaQuest 2 because it is a much higher price point, you know, much more expensive, and you need a PS5. MetaQuest is just a standalone device, I think, for $399, $499. Standalone, that's it. You know, to get to PSVR2, you got to get a PS5, and you got to get the headset, which costs more than a console. But that's okay. You know, for those who want it, it's there. Over time, I'm sure there's a price drops. You know, VR will get its price drops. Maybe we'll see price drops on the PS5, you know. But ultimately, you know, if you're a PlayStation gamer and you're looking forward to VR, we're gonna have a great time. You know, it's gonna be great content, more games, more unique experiences, more exclusives, specifically for the VR. And I don't see how any gamer can hate on that. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you're an Xbox dude and you hating, bro, you should put that energy towards Xbox, because that's the brand that really needs attention. That brand needs some love, because they hurting out there. They're hurting bad. I mean, hell, another rumor of Fable. I'm not even going to get into that, because how many times are we going to hear, you know, Microsoft Studios developers are just behind or they have to start over? There's always something. It's more negative than positive, right? Which is why it's weird seeing their energy on the PlayStation side. When PlayStation, you know, obviously Sony has their faults. They do stupid stuff, you know. But the core basis of the brand is deliver the games. And there's no argument about that. When it comes to delivering games, that's the end all be all. And they got that locked down in spades, you know. And that's the so what behind all this. That's the so what behind the hobby, the games, you know. But you let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to VR? Are you impressed that PlayStation 5, despite shortages, reached 30 million? And how far ahead have they pushed past Xbox? Those things play a factor. Those console sales play a factor. Some of you are saying, "Oh, that doesn't matter." No, it matters because third party are seeing the dominant market leader. And oh my God, I could already see me saying that comment. Y'all gonna bring up Activision Blizzard deal. That's like, it's whatever, bro. Whatever Microsoft got to do, whatever happens, I don't really care, bro. 2023, there's a lot of popping games. I understand if that's going to be the main topic for you guys, for Xbox gamers, is because, I mean, hell, you guys ain't really got no games yet. From now to 5 months, that hasn't been announced. I don't know what games you're going to be playing. Multiplat's cool. That's no doubt. We'll be playing multiplats too. Everybody will be playing multiplats. PC gamers will be playing multiplats. Multiplats are great. Everybody be doing it. But as far as exclusives or stuff that's like specific to your brand, I don't know. It is what it is. You guys are going to have to figure that out. But anyway, this is your boy Porter Rock77. Let me know what you think. Hit up the comment section. If this is your first time seeing the video, stick around. Hit the subscribe button. You know, I have a podcast every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 60 frames, no lag. Got a great crew, great panel. This year we're going to rock out with some more guests. It's a great time. It's a great informative time. Hit up the chat. You'll enjoy it. All right? You guys take care. Peace.